Hello, everyone. So, as you know, with the cost of living and things like that, uh, a lot of businesses are going out of business. Let's be fair. But particularly what to talk about, as you know, the electricity prices and getting onto my point here, is to do with schools, both primary and secondary school. Now, I have a story now here in a second to tell you. But basically, maybe if you're a parent, you know your child maybe came home with a letter saying, the school wants a few more bucks out of you. You know where you pay your insurance. I used to pay when I used to go to secondary school. It was €100 a year for insurance and then photocopying material, something like that. It was around 180, €160, right? So called free education, isn't that right? Am I right? But yeah, that's for photocopying insurance and then for other things too. And then you had to buy a PE uniform. Again, you're looking at about €300 you spent on PE uniforms and stuff like that. So anyway, getting to my point. Obviously, with the cost of living, they're looking for the parents to pay for the electricity. Even though you and I, we go out early in the morning to work, and out of that, our taxes, what we pay to the tax man, that goes towards the schools. You know, and everything we buy is taxed. We buy a glass, we buy a pen in the shop. Everything has a tax on it, and that goes to the government, which goes to different parts of the public service or into the public sector, if I may use that too, like schools, like hospitals, like the police in the state, the defense of the state. It goes into that. That's where the money goes. But apparently, there's no money for that. So even though, again, so Normal Foley says, but again, Normal Foley's not on this planet. Let's be fair, she's literally not with it. Says that they have €90 million for for schools to basically have as electricity grants from the government to cover the cost of school electricity. And obviously, I will say that I used to go to a big secondary school in the town there in Cavan, and there's a good lot of classrooms for about 900, over 1,000 pupils now. So you think about the amount of electricity, they have about four computer rooms. That's a lot of computers going, and they were going majority of the day. So you think about that, and then you think about the staff, the teachers' computers, the interactive boards, the lights in the corridor, in the canteens. It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going. So obviously, it would be a very hefty bill at the end of the month, to cover. And then obviously you talk about the school buying goods and food for the canteen and stuff like that. Obviously gone up. But I will say this, and getting onto my point in my story. So I came across a parent today that showed me a letter from the school. Again, it's a primary school. It's a very rural primary school in County Cavan. They showed me a letter, and they recommended the cheek of them, first of all, the cheek of them, to recommend that they pay €250 each as a parent for each child extra. And the cheek of this principal going out and writing to all these parents saying, "Oh, give us €250 extra," even though they paid for insurance and stuff like that and photocopying. That's the basic standard. So, but that'll be around €200. Then they're looking for another €200 or €50 out of the parents. Um, the cheek of them, like it's the cheek of them, and I thought it was very that they recommended to pay €250. And this person said, I work hard. They go out and work. They work in an office again. You could say they don't work that hard because they're sitting at a desk all day pushing the pen. But still, at the end of the day, they go out and do a bit of work, and they pay their taxes to the government. And their children are supposed to get a proper education. They pay. That's what they go out and work for. That's what the taxes go to, for their children to be educated, to looked after in the schools. And again, the cheek of this principal was also, I've sent the letter back to the principal, give my opinion on what he should do, and where he should shove his letters. But that's for a different day. But basically, in the letter, I told him to go and fucking ask the Department of Education, or ask the CMETB. Well, not the CMETB, sorry, the Department of Education, not the CMETB. That's for secondary schools. This is a primary school. So I went and said, "Would you go and ask the Department of Education for money instead of being a grifter and asking parents for the money, or take it out of your own purse?" Again, the cheek of imagine if somebody went to him and said to give us 250 over your child extra for the paid electricity and stuff, like the cheek of that. Like some of these people are very cheeky cunts. And obviously too, again, I would say it should be voluntary. Parents, if they wish to give an extra few bob, which I don't see why they should, because again, they work. Majority of the parents are working. They're paying a lot of money to tax and to the government. That money is supposed to be used for that. The parents shouldn't have to pay a penny extra. That's as simple as that. And so-called free education, isn't that right? But yeah, let's just put it this way: number 40, you have a lot to be decided of you, because this is a disgrace. The board of management or the principals and things that were sending out letters asking parents to give more money to the schools, and subsequently give more money to the state because it's going to the state to pay for electricity bills. Uh, and then the only woman and only man in the home there trying to keep the lights on, trying to keep food on the table. You don't see them going and writing a letter to the state. Would you mind covering my cost for the electricity? I'm sure. Let me just phrase it this way: if that woman or man couldn't afford to feed the children were starving, and they couldn't afford to keep the lights were turned off. Imagine them sitting down and writing a letter. Would you mind to the local TD, the local councillor? Would you mind giving me about €4,000 to help me cover the costs? You think that local TD or local council laugh at them? They laugh at them. They purely laugh at them, even though they're €100,000 a year, and the councils are on nearly 100,000 themselves too. They laugh at them. They literally laugh them out of it. Saying to them, begging them to give them €3,000 or €200. It comes out the witchman's purse. But yet they laugh at you if you went and asked the councillors for that, or the TDs. They laugh at you. They laugh the face off you because it's not hard times for them. It's hard times for you and me, but it's not hard times for them. They'd be well looked after. Don't worry about that. We won't lose any sleep worrying about our TDs and councillors. Because good God, imagine if our TDs and councillors suffered in this country. Imagine if they had to suffer to pay the bills. Oh, good God, the world would come to an end. The heavens would break. It's a joke. But I would say to parents, particularly out here, and listen to me at the moment, if you wish, you can give money. Of course, it should be by your wish. Again, you pay, you go out and work to earn your money. It's up to you where you spend it. My advice to parents is fuck them, fuck the schools, let the department, let them take it out of the one post, or let number 40 give up a wage to pay for it. Because again, where's that €90 million supposed to be going to? Again, is it going to the fucking normal 40's back pocket, or to fucking building her bulk of 50 feet above the ground, on the ground, or something like that? At this point now, Jesus Christ, she's rivaling a dictator. But yeah, let me know what you think.